Have you ever woken up in a cold sweat, worried that your life savings could vanish with just one click? In an age where scammers are becoming increasingly sophisticated, protecting your retirement isn't just about saving anymore. It's about staying one step ahead of those who want to steal what you've worked so hard to build. Today we're tackling the critical question, how can you avoid losing your retirement benefits to an online scammer? Well, thank you for joining me today. My mission today is simple. I want to help you achieve financial freedom and grow in your faith. Now, if you missed yesterday's show, we discussed building what I called a death binder. I know that sounds ominous, but it's really something that everybody should have. I'll encourage you to check it out if you miss it. I also encourage you to follow the show. The best way to do that is to go to askralphpodcast.com/follow, so you won't miss an episode. Well, today's letter comes from Margaret, all the way from Tennessee, and she writes this: Dear Ralph, I'm terrified. Last week, I nearly fell victim to what seemed like a legitimate investment opportunity. Someone claiming to be from my retirement fund company called, saying that there were suspicious activities in my account. They knew details about my investments and sounded so professional. They almost convinced me to transfer my funds to a secure account. At the last minute, something didn't feel right and I hung up. Now I can't sleep at night thinking about how close I came to losing everything. How can I protect myself? I feel like I can't trust anyone anymore. Well, Margaret, thank you so much for your question, and it's exactly why we're here. If you've got a question, I'm going to encourage you to join me every Tuesday night. The Ask Ralph Show goes live. That's right, live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And here's the best part. I'm going to be giving away a $100 Amazon gift card to someone in the audience each week. That's right, we're going to have a drawing. We're going to do that every week. So if you're interested in joining the online show, easier for me to say than you, go to askralphpodcast.com/live. Again, that's askralphpodcast.com/live. And I hope to see you tonight on the show. Now, Margaret, your experience reminds me of a verse from the Bible that speaks directly to wisdom. Hey, listen, this is especially neat in these challenging times. And it comes to us from Proverbs chapter 4, verses 6 and 7. It says this: Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. Though it cost all you have, get understanding. Wow, now that's an encouraging word from the Bible. And let's set that as our goal for today. Let's get some wisdom. And listen, before you think this can't happen to you, well, let me tell you about what happened to my own mother. Now, this was about 6 years ago. My mom was just sitting on a Tuesday afternoon. She got this call. And this call could have cost her everything. She got a call from somebody, and I can still remember her calling me. She said it was a normal Tuesday afternoon. She said the caller ID showed it was from her bank. Yep, that's right, she had gotten spoofed, and they did it perfectly. My mom told me the guy spoke professionally, and he was expressing urgent concern for her, told her that there were suspicious transactions on her account, and this person claimed to be from her bank's fraud department. So just like you, Margaret, my mom had the same situation. And here's the scary part. My mom relayed this to me afterwards. She said, Ralph, they knew some key details about me. And truth is, my mom thought it was legitimate. What they had done is they had gone onto her social media post, and they'd read things, and they relayed those items to her to help build that rapport. And truth is, listen, my mom was a very trusting soul. Now, she passed away in 2023, but she was a bit naive. But of course, that was her charm. And this guy was building trust with her. He showed her empathy. He capitalized on her confusion and fear, threatened that her accounts would be frozen. And what did my mom do? Well, she acted immediately. They even sent her what I'll call spoofed emails during the call. The guy even said to her, listen, I'm going to send you an email that have some codes in it. You need to give me those codes. And like I said, my mom was a trusting soul. So here's what she did. And unfortunately, she started following the instructions. She started doing the things the guy told her to do. She thought she was securing her account. But remember this, I always say that with financial decisions, never act under pressure. And this was clearly a pressure situation for my mom. Thank God my mom also remembered our family rule, and I had shared this so many times. If you get a call like this, hang up and call the bank directly. Use a number from their statement or from your credit card. And in the end, because my mom followed my rule or followed a good rule, it saved her from losing almost everything. So follow that rule. If you get a call and it looks like it's from your bank. I mean, there is spoofing technology out there, both on the call side, on the email side. Hang up the call, go to your statement or go to a number and call them directly. Most of the time, you're going to find it was a scam. Now, let me tell you about another client who recently shared this story with me. Imagine this, years from now, you're finally retired, you're sitting on your front porch. Maybe you're sipping some lemonade, just sitting in that rocking chair, watching the sunset. You've worked hard, you've saved diligently, and you're enjoying the fruits of your labor. But then that piece is shattered. You look on your phone, just checking your retirement account, and it's empty, it's all gone. This is just what happened to my client. And here's the story he told me. He said a few years back, he got a call from someone claiming to be a financial advisor. And this guy was slick. He said, Rob, this guy promised to give me exclusive access. Told me it was this once-in-a-lifetime deal. And the crazy part is, he told me, he said, Rob, he was using Christian jargon. He was quoting scripture. He even told me he was from the same denomination as me. Now, he didn't go to my church, the guy said, but he said he was from the same faith, from the same denomination. See, just like that guy with my mom, he was building trust. He was playing on my client's faith. He even told me, he said, Ralph, he made me feel like I was part of something special. Well, the hook was set, as they say. My client was hooked, just like a big old catfish on the line. He told me, he said, Ralph, I started investing small. I started seeing some profits rolling in. And when I saw those profits rolling in, I decided to invest more and more. He confided in me. He said, Ralph, I was addicted to the returns. He told his friends about it. He even told his pastor about it. And the funny thing is, everyone was excited for him. He told me, Ralph, I felt like I'd finally cracked the code to financial freedom. Now, as you're listening, I bet you're starting to think something was about to happen. Well, you're right about that. Because as all of a sudden, the communication stopped. My client wasn't getting any statements. He decided one day to try to call, and the phone was disconnected. Well, that's not a good sign. He went online, the website had vanished. Poof, just like that. His sure thing had completely evaporated away. And I remember him calling me. He said, Ralph, he said, I felt betrayed. I felt so much shame. I felt anger. He told me it was overwhelming. He confided in me that he felt foolish, naive, and utterly devastated. So you might be thinking, Ralph, that's a terrible story. And you're right, it is a terrible story. But in the end, it taught him a powerful lesson. It showed him the importance of discernment. And this is critical. We need to use it, discernment. Thinking through something, saying, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't pass the sniff test. And what it did for this client, it taught him to seek wise counsel. And he learned not to be swayed by smooth talk and empty promises. And listen, here's a bold reminder. True financial security comes not from chasing quick riches. You're just not going to get to that. If you think you're going to make $1 million overnight, I'm sorry, you're sadly mistaken. But true financial security comes from time building faithful stewardship and wise decision making. So you might ask, Ralph, what did he do? And I'll tell you, that's a great question. The first thing he did was he reported the scam to authorities. He would put it out there so that he could warn other people so that they wouldn't be taken advantage of. But then he turned that mirror on himself and he took a hard look at himself. And when he thought about it, he realized he'd allowed greed and the allure of easy money to cloud his judgment. He came to a realization that he needed to change. And guess what? He reached out to me as a Christian financial advisor. He had listened to my show. He realized I shared his values. And he realized I understood the importance of aligning finances and faith. We sat down and I showed him how to recognize those red flags. I showed him how to ask those tough questions, and I told him to be skeptical of anything. Listen, because if it seems too good to be true, it is probably not good. That's just the truth. Well, I'm going to share some key action steps with you in a few moments, but let me ask you a few questions. Do you feel overwhelmed with your finances? Do you feel like you're all alone? Do you want to find financial freedom? Do you want to align your finances with your faith? Do you live in this state of financial instability? Do you feel frustrated, hopeless, and stuck? Well, guess what? I've got great news today. There is hope. And this hope starts by, I want you to join the Ask Ralph Show Insiders group. We got a community of people who feel the same as you. These are people who are facing these same challenges. They're getting these bogus calls. They're getting these spam emails and spoofing emails. The difference is they're mastering their finances, they're living their dreams, and they're finding peace of mind. You see, we're feeling those same pain points. And we're seeking to balance our finances with our faith. And best of all, the Insiders group is sharing answers. That's kind of the whole point of it. We're working together, we're sharing solutions, and we're sharing hope. Now, you can apply to join our community. Just go to askralphpodcast.com/group and complete the questionnaire. Again, that's askralphpodcast.com/group. There's a questionnaire there. I want to encourage you, do it now and become a member of the Insiders team. I promised you I'll give you some action steps, so now I'm going to give you 5 concrete steps you can take today to protect your retirement. Number one thing, I think this is a great idea. Establish a verification word with your actual financial institutions. Have that verification word. A lot of financial institutions will allow you to store such a word on their site, or you do multi-factor authentication, but some way to verify, like my mom did. Hang up the phone and call them back directly with the number that you know is their number. Second thing, number 2, never, ever click on links and emails about your accounts. Don't ever do that. There are criminals out there that are doing this. Listen, I just got one yesterday. We need to secure your account, Ralph. Click right here. Well, the funny thing was, the place that they thought they were sending from, I don't even have an account, I guess because I have so many clients that we work with. There was a particular bank and they said, Ralph, you need to secure your account right away. And I say, well, that's a good thing because I don't even have an account with you guys. So clearly that was fake. But don't ever click on those emails. It's happened to me. I shared it on this show a couple weeks back. It's scary because it looks like the real thing. And you're like, you get that fear, that adrenaline rush when you see that your account might be compromised. But once you click on that link and you enter your information, I can guarantee you this, it will be compromised. Let's look at number 3. I alluded to this in the first one. That's set up multi-factor authentication on all your financial accounts. Listen, we're living in a digital age. If you don't have multi-factor authentication set up on every account you have, I'm not telling you you're a fool, but guess what? You're foolish when it comes to that because you got to have this extra layer of protection. Is going to help you. Yeah, it's a nuisance. When you go to log in, you got to go find your phone or an authentication app, and it's a nuisance. I get it. I deal with it 10 times a day. But I take security seriously, and you should do the same thing. Number 4 thing, create a financial security folder with official contact numbers. I think this one is critical. Whenever you have a new account or an open account, have a folder with all of the official contact numbers in it. Maybe store it on your phone. But have those financial numbers, those official contact numbers, so that even if it gets spoofed, because see, here's the deal. They can spoof the call coming in, but they can't spoof the call going out. You can type in the number that you want to call and then just verify it with the person at the other end of the thing. And listen, truth is, there are banks and financial institutions that will call you with security issues. There are fraud departments. That is all true. Just call them with the number you have on file and verify it that way. And last but not least, number 5, and I think I harp on this all the time, and that is install and maintain updated antivirus software, because a lot of these spoofing emails will actually be captured by that antivirus software. And I'm not a technology expert. I know a lot about it, but I don't know about everything. So apparently there are some tells in that email address that a lot of these antivirus software have, so keep them. So buy them, first of all. Don't just buy them and set them. You'll maintain those. Make sure there's a updating process. Now, tomorrow we're going to be discussing an intriguing topic. We're going to be looking at why looking poor can be the key to being rich. Listen, you're going to love this one. You won't want to miss this. It's counterintuitive. I'm going to tell you that. But I'm going to give you some insights that could really transform your financial future. Remember this. My passion is to help you achieve financial success. That's why I do what I do. I want to see you live out your dreams. And at the same time, I want to see you grow in your faith, because I know working together, we can master your finances from that Christian perspective. So as always on the show, I want to encourage you, stay financially savvy, and God bless you.
Thank you for joining us on the Ask Ralph podcast. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. And remember, financial issues don't have to be complicated. Just ask Ralph. The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media, Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.